And for the Cliff Notes, this is the one you buy. This is the one I bought for my second account because I know it's a good game. I know I was going to play it all. This is the complete version. It's not complete. There is more to buy. There's 2 more expansions for a start. But it is complete enough that you can buy this and you have so much to play. You have all your mounts, but there are other options. So I'm an old guy back after a break, and I noticed there was a lot of new people starting the game again. This is late 2024. So I thought I'd do a couple of videos just for, I noticed people panicking about things you don't need to panic about. Just looking for a quick couple of ideas about just getting started. So I thought, you know, my limited advice can be put into the pile. So how do you even get started? Where do you start? We just go to Guild Wars 2 site, which is a good place to start. I mean, one of the first choices you're even going to have to make is whether you're going to play from the ArenaNet site or from Steam. The ethical choice is probably ArenaNet site, but some people like to have all their stuff on Steam, and I have both, and they both work. They're both fine. ArenaNet probably gets more money if you buy it from their site, but Steam is convenient, and Steam is really good if you're running on Linux too. Makes it easier, a little bit easier to load. The main choices you're gonna have to make there are, if you start on Steam, if you buy it on Steam, you are going to have to use the Steam client. You will have to buy all the things from Steam from then on. Everyone plays together, whether you're on an ArenaNet account or a Steam account. You're all going to be playing in the same world. Well, within reason, there's Europe versus America, but you're playing in the same game. But you do have to make a choice of ArenaNet or Steam. Both easy. I think it loads a little bit better on the ArenaNet. Steam, it seems to have to do a double load. It's a little bit, it works fine though, but it can be a little bit more finicky on the loading. It seems to go through a couple of different stages on loading, whether you're loading through Steam, but you're still got to go through the Steam load, the app loading. The client on ArenaNet, it just comes up with your client and it does all your downloads and all your updates. So it's easier probably, but they both work. They're both fine. If you go to the ArenaNet site, yeah, I mean, you're just a matter of, you click on download now and you've got the free version straight away available. It's the same on Steam. If I go to Steam, just search for Steam, you've got your free client right there, bang. Price is a little bit higher here, you'll notice, because I'm in Australia compared to the American prices, but that's just exchange rate. That's a $100 kit, I think, on ArenaNet. That's just an exchange rate thing. I don't think you pay any more on Steam. It just looks that way because I'm in Australia. So yeah, you can just download it straight away there, and that is easy to do. And while you're here in this page, or once you've downloaded and you've got it installing and you've got the client installing, you can click across to register, and this is where you set up your account. Just needs an email address. And you'll have to come up with a display name. That's not the name of your character. That's sort of your overall name of your account, and be useful for people finding you if you've got friends looking for you. So essentially, you just need an email address and make up a name. I don't think it needs to be too exclusive. It sticks these numbers after it, so I think you can pretty much put in anything there. Usually not your own name. It's probably going to be your main character name. That's what I tend to do. And you can sign up there. That's really easy. It probably asks for an email confirmation. I don't remember. And of course, if you're in the Steam account, it just goes through your Steam account. You don't have to do anything else. So that is also very easy. There's also a nice little get started guide here. I've never noticed that before, but that is so handy for just those very basic things. I'll have to go through that. I did notice this. I thought this was so cool because it lets you know, a lot of times it'll say use a utility skill or use a professional skill. And I thought, what button do I have to press for that? And it's all right there. So that is quite handy. I love that. So yeah, so that should download there. But what I really wanted to get into is a lot of people just don't know what expansions to even start with. There are so many options, and I mean, your choices are really to play the free for a while. You can play right to level 80. You can play quite a bit of content. There are some restrictions, mostly trading with other players. There are some limitations on where you can go. You are gated. You can't go into a city before level 10, which is nothing. You can't go into Lion's Arch until you're level 35. You're going to be limited on storage, which is not going to worry you too much in the early days. So if you play, you get a mount for 10 hours. So you can play those first 10 hours on a free account without too many restrictions. And then if you know you really love the game, you can just go in and buy big. So spend $100 on the game because you know you love it. You know you're going to play it, and you're quite happy to spend the $100. Now, if you're a bit more conservative that, and you don't want to have the restrictions of the new game, you have the options of, so here's your options. Okay, so here's your budget option. Your budget option is to just get the first 2 expansions. It's $29.99. That's like, well, $30 US. Let's be honest here. $30 US. That will get you a lot of your base, most of your base mounts, including a flying mount if you get enough gold. It's not your best, well, best flying mounts. It's not my favorite flying mount, but there is most of your mounts are there. So that's a good starter expansion. So if you don't want the limitations, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can just get those first 2 expansions. And then later on, if you still want the good flying mount and you don't want to pay for the Living World, you can get the main flying mount on Secrets of Obscure has the main flying mount. Ender Dragons can be bought separately, and the latest one, Janthiel Wilds. That's not my personal choice, but we'll get to that in a minute. There are other options, but that is your budget option. So my preferred collection is the Elder Dragon Saga. It's like the Skywalker Saga of Star Wars. It's the main story, which is pretty much all good stuff. We go into it, we get all the dragon stories, your first 3 expansions, plus you get a level 80 boost and a lot of these things with the expansions. Shared slots that you can share between multiple characters that go on the top of your inventory. And for $50, that's good value, but that is not the pick of them. I mean, your deluxe one, you get a couple extra skins. I don't know if that's good value myself. Ultimate, you get extra skins and a bunch of gems, which you can buy separately. But my pick of them is the complete. Now, it's not complete, as I said in the intro. This is not a complete. It's complete-ish. But it is the best value way to get your Living World. Now, the Living World does get you one of the best flying mounts of the game. There are other ways and other expansions to get it, but that's my preferred way to get it. And this is the cheapest way to get your Living World. Now, normally, if you played the game at the time, you would have all the Living Worlds for free. If you're coming in late, you're going to have to buy them separately. The Living World 1 is free, although it's a cutback version of it. We can't get the original because of the way the game was done at the time. But all the rest of them you get this way, and I think it's about 40% of what they cost you otherwise. And they're a bit of a pain to get. You've got to use gems. This is the easy way to get them. So if you're pretty sure you're going to play the game and you want a fairly complete story, especially some good farming maps, season 3 and 4 are probably my favorites for the flying mount, and some good farming maps for some ascended trinkets and whatnot. That's a good pick to do it, and this gives you really a good overview of the entire story if you want to play right through the story. If you're really a bit of a completionist and you want to play through the story in order, preferably, this is a good way to do it, although I don't think going through the story in order is the best way to get around because of the way the mounts are done. Sometimes you feel like it'd be good to do Path of Fire first, get your mounts, and then do Heart of Thorns, which is a more difficult maps. But I mean, obviously, I played through the story continuously the way it's supposed to be because that's the way it came out in my new account, I haven't done that. I've done bits and pieces all over the place, but it doesn't matter because I know the story. But that is my pick. It's not necessarily the one you have to go to for, but it does give you options. You've got a free version, you've got the $30 start, you've got a $50 start here, and you've also got for $100. And it's really just a matter of how much you want to pay. You get exactly the same sorts of things if you get it on Steam. Your options are very similar. As you can see, that's not the most favorite expansion, but it is the other way to get the flying mount. So no matter which way you choose, whether you're choosing from Steam or whatever, you're getting the same sorts of options. Now, if you are, as I say, if you start with Steam, you're going to have to use the Steam client, which is right here. This is a Steam client. But if you do have an Arena account, you can use the Steam client to play the game, which is handy if you're in Linux sometimes. So you can just go in there, put in provider portal, and that will open a client in a way that you can use your ArenaNet account, which is handy if you've got both, which I have, which most people don't. But if you are in Steam and you want to use the Steam account, but you want to use the Steam client because it's just easier, you can use your ordinary ArenaNet account here, just put your password in, and you can play straight from there, which is a super easy way to do it. But of course, normally here you would just come into here. Normally that would be not there, and you would, and that would load into your Steam account. So you have got the option. If you have an ArenaNet account, you can use either client. If you have a Steam account, you're going to have to use the Steam client. So on this machine, because it's a Linux machine, it doesn't have as big a drive as my other machine. I only have the one client, and I only have the one client, and I can use both accounts on this one client. It just saves a lot of disk space. It's not a small game anymore. You use a lot of space. So on my other machine, I have both clients. So that's just easy, so I don't have to change any parameters and whatnot. This one, I just have the one client. I can run both. And then it's just a matter of hitting play. Now I'm going to do an updated video on best characters and character creation next video, because I think I need an update on that. Just in case I don't get around to it, one of the other things you're going to have to do is select your world. When you first start the game, you're going to need to select a world. It doesn't matter for open world content other than whether you're in Europe or America. This one's in Europe at the moment. You can swap across. You do get a free swap, but you only get one free one. After that, it costs. And you've got to pick your server. This only matters at the moment. I think they're changing that. I don't know. It only matters at the moment for World v World and things like that. For the normal open world, it only matters whether you're in Europe or America. So if you've got friends in America, you play in America. If you've got friends in Europe, you're playing in Europe, obviously. And we're in Australia, so we just go, oh, pick one. Our ping's best to America. So that is something you have to do. If you know somebody's in a particular world, I'm going to go to America here. I can't remember which one I'm in America. None of these look familiar. I know I used to be in Sea of Sorrows. I have no idea where I am now at the moment on my other one. I would have to look. Obviously, like I say, some of the full. You have got a choice there, but if you've got friends and you want to play World v World, find out what they've got. And even if you get it wrong, you do get one free swap, and you can only swap every once in a while. But it's just a matter of paying the money to swap. So that's the only thing you're going to have to pick. And after that, you're ready to go and create a character, which some people are struggling with things that you don't need to struggle with. Some things you do have to panic about, some things you don't. But I'm going to cover that next time.